and welcome to our city homestead. It's day 2 of our 1940s days. As you can see, the hair is out of the curlers, feels so much better. And today we're going to be making bread. So I know in the UK there was the national loaf, but I'm just using, so I've got my flour here, I'm just using regular whole wheat flour, and I am doing a depression bread recipe, and it's our favorite bread recipe. It's one I make almost all the time, unless I'm doing buns or cinnamon buns and I do a different recipe, but otherwise super simple, super easy to do. So yeah, let's make bread. All right, so let's get started. We have 1 pound of whole wheat flour or whole grain flour, and I just put that on the scale and measure that. And then I have 1.5 tablespoons of yeast, not quite a teaspoon of sugar, of sugar, and same with salt. So about 3/4 teaspoon salt and maybe probably 3/4 teaspoon of sugar as well. And then I just stir all that up. So that's what we have so far. And then I've got water, and we're just going to add enough water to make a dough. And I just always put my hand in there, and if it's like comfortable, so if it's water that you would comfortably bathe in, then that's the kind of water you want. You don't want it hot, like too hot or boiling. I never measure like the temperature of it. I just go by feel. If it's too cold and you wouldn't, bathe in that, then you need a little bit warmer. And if it's too hot, then you just want it nice and warm. All right, so we're gonna put a little bit more water in here. Sometimes I add too much water, and that's okay. Then I just add a bit more flour if I have to, because I want to get all of that in there. Now I know a lot of people will knead for like 10 minutes till you get your, you could pull the dough and get that window pane. I never do that. Okay, so I'm just gonna add enough water here. And I used to knead it for a really long time, but I was told that the bread was really tough. It wasn't light and fluffy, so I don't do that anymore. My mother-in-law always made the best bread. It was always so like light and flaky, or fluffy, I mean. I guess it could be flaky, not really. Anyways, fluffy, and it was soft, and anyhow, I watched her how she done it, and I asked for her tips, and it was just that she did not over knead the bread. So I don't over knead the bread. I think that's pretty good now. It's gonna be a little bit sticky, so we'll add a bit more flour. I just take all the dough off my spoon. You could do this in a machine if you'd rather, or like a mix master. I always do it by hand, just so that I can feel what it feels like. All right. So now I'm just gonna knead it until basically it's not sticky. So it can be tacky, but not sticky. Maybe I should have added that extra little bit of water. It's all right. I feel like it's whole wheat, so a little extra will be just fine. We made us a loaf yesterday, and it's almost gone. So since bread was not rationed, you had to use whole wheat. That's okay. I don't mind whole wheat. You can have as much bread as you like, so that's perfect. And it's a great way to, just bulk up your meal. It's kind of like a filler. All right, so this is almost good. Just a little bit more. And especially I find with whole wheat, you don't really want to over knead that, because that can get really tough in my experience. Okay, so I think that's about good. And around. Perfect. So there's that. Looks wonderful. I'm just going to grab just a little bit of olive oil. just enough to grease up the bread a little bit. There we go. And just a little bit around the bowl. Don't want it sticking too much. I used to always wash the bowl in between, but I don't anymore. I just do this. Always turns out wonderfully. Okay, there you have it. There is our bread. I'm going to cover that just with a tea towel. Actually, I have a tea towel I use only for bread. Let me just grab that. Lovely. And I'm just going to stick it in the warm oven, just like so. And you can see it's kind of stained from oil from when it rises. And I'm just going to set this in a warm oven and I'm going to let it rise for 1 hour. So I'll see you back here in an hour. All right, so I took the dough out of the oven and this is how it rose. I find whole wheat doesn't rise as much as white flour, but it's nice, it's soft and fluffy. Okay, so that looks great. I'm going to oil up my pan here, just a regular loaf pan. All right, so we want to make sure you get the edges because I find whole wheat's a little bit more, I don't know, it tends to stick to the pan a bit more. Okay, so we've got that. Oil up our hands, punch it down, and then I just kind of roll it. I don't play with it a lot. And then I fold it over like so. Let me just get rid of the bowl. Okay. And then I just kind of, I don't make it look, you know, it's not super beautiful. That's it. There is my loaf. So now I'm going to set it in the warm oven again, and it's going to rise for 30 minutes. So I'll see you back here after 30 minutes. Welcome back. So here is our bread, all nice, and it's nice and soft. So yeah, it's not like, you know, it's nice and soft. It's not hard or dried out, and it's even good the next day. We made a loaf yesterday and we ate most of that up fresh, and then we had some today as toast, and it is perfect and it's still good. And any bread that's left over, it can totally make queen of puddings or different types of bread puddings. And there's so many different things. There's bread pancakes and all kinds of neat recipes from the 40s that you can use your leftover bread or like the ends for or whatever. But yeah, here's our bread. Turned out beautiful and I'm excited to eat it. Have a fabulous rest of your day and we'll see you here soon.